and welcome back to the Java playlist. We are going to cover a very important topic and piece of code today, which is the for loop. So the for loop you can actually picture as a while loop. Like if you break it down, a for loop actually ends up being a while loop, just more compact. As well as easier to use and easier to understand, probably, even though uh, the while loop isn't really rocket science. Um, but a for loop is basically laid out in this way. So you have a for loop, and inside here you need three things. So you need your counter variable, or I guess you could say um, your conditional variable. You're going to separate these with a semicolon. Then you're going to have your condition. So I is equal or less than or equal to 10 again. And you're going to have your incrementer. So this takes care of all three of those conditions that we would have in a while loop, which would be, just to recap, while while j less than or equal to 10, j plus plus. So this is what a while loop looks like. This is what a for loop looks like. This is the exact same thing as this, but when you're using loops quite a bit to execute things, I guess, in a recursive or repetitive fashion, the for loop actually ends up being a lot more convenient and easier to work with, especially when you get into nesting. So we'll just stop that there, but I'll just show you how for loop works in simple terms, system.out, and we're just going to print I. So it just runs 10 times. Oh, you have to, yeah, so it actually runs 11 times because I started at 0. So it's the same thing. We'll do an actual program. So one that I remember doing in school was um, printing their number and their square. So um, yeah, we'll just start with this. Number backslash t num squared, and we will make it look a bit prettier. So for this, it's gonna go up to 10. So what we're gonna do is we'll start it at 1, just for, you can't really square 0. And we're gonna have system.out.print I plus, and then we'll have just a tab, and then plus I times I. And we'll put that in brackets just to be safe for bedmass purposes. So yeah, we'll just give that a try. I think I might be off on something. Oh no. So yeah, what it's doing is it's entering in. We've declared the variable here. Some people actually like to put their loop control variable up here, so you can initialize it there too. But it's the same thing by initializing it here. In fact, it's probably a lot more um, clean and sort of compact when you do it here, because then you don't have to worry about the variable outside of it. But yeah, it's doing exactly what a while loop did. It's coming in. It's right now, it starts at 1. It's going to check, then it's going to, sorry, it's going to enter in, it's 1. It's going to execute, then it's going to update, and then it's going to come back and check. It's going to execute, then update. And it's exactly the same as a while loop. So that's how the for loop operates. The for loop ends up being like a pretty cool tool when you want to start like nesting it. So let's start this. I think another one is hour. So less than 12, sorry, o'clock. So what we can do here is trying to think about this nesting. Okay, yeah, so we do the hours first, and then we can do minutes. Center equal to 59. And then inside that, we're nesting our seconds. We gotta initialize this. So I think, yeah, 0 because there's 60 seconds. And for int equals seconds, which equals 0. Less than or equal to 59 again, and seconds plus plus. So before I print out like what we're actually doing here, it's important to sort of understand what's happening. We are entering in here as 1. Or actually, I will print out the time. So system.out.print hour plus. Sorry, I'm a little slow right now because this is like the 3rd or 4th video I've done today. Out.print. I also might have this formatting wrong. I just remember we used to do the clock thing in school because it's the easiest one to understand because the clock naturally increments. And seconds. So we'll try this out, but I'll just do a quick run through of what's happening. So we enter the first for loop, hour equals 1, less than 12. Then we enter the second one, and then it does the same checks, and then we enter the third one, and it does the same check. So this ends up being kind of like a matrix in terms of we can actually exit. We if you think of inceptions, we must go deeper. This one is like the deepest one, and this one will basically increment and execute in here from 0 to 59 or 60 seconds. And then once that comes, then this one is going to increment by 1. and then it's going to force back into here, do the same thing, seconds, then minutes are going to execute again, blah, 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 keep going until minutes hit 60 seconds or 59. And then once minutes does that, then it comes back and does hours. So it's kind of working. If you watch that show, Silicon Valley, it's middle out. And yeah, so you're starting from the first, like, sorry, the furthest nested one and working your way back out. So we'll run this. This will probably fill up a ton of shit on my console here, but let's just do it. Oh shit. Oh, derp. We need a new line. Sweet. So that just basically filled in every second of the day. Um, if you take a look here, or wait, we didn't even need this last colon. Um, can actually clean this up a bit with the new line. Sweet. So run that again. Yeah. So that's every second of the day. Oh, it's actually cutting me off because there's so many outputs here. I also would have to format it so it's like, you know how we had, you have double digits and stuff like that, so it doesn't end up being like 10, 0, 36. But I'll save that. That's more of a formatting issue than the actual functionality. But yeah, that's for loops and nested for loops. It's quite useful, and you'll see why over the next little while. But yeah, it's great to execute a large amount of operations by just a couple lines of code. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope that wasn't too excruciating. But yeah, again, I'll see you in the next video.